Malik Turner had lived through plenty of strange mornings, but none like this. He stood frozen on the front steps of his new home, watching two men dressed in cheap tactical gear swing metal batons into the hood of his Ferrari, his dream car, the symbol of everything he'd fought for. The cracking sound of metal on metal echoed across the quiet cul-de-sac, each strike ripping another piece of paint and pride from the machine he spent years saving for. And with every hit, Malik felt that familiar burn of injustice rising in his chest. These weren't real officers. Their badges were plastic, movements sloppy, their rage personal. And worst of all, they had come pretending to represent the HOA. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you're rewatching from. I love knowing who's listening. The neighbors watched from behind blinds, some whispering, some pretending they saw nothing. But Malik saw everything, his own reflection distorted in the dented hood. The fear he tried to hide, and a question that churned inside him. How many times would people like this test his patience? How many times would he have to defend the space he'd rightfully earned? One of the fake officers, a tall man with a patchy beard, swung again. HOA violation, yelled as if saying it loudly enough made the lie true. Illegal vehicle on display. Malik stepped forward, voice tight. Back away from my property. Now. Patchy Beard smirked. Oh, look, he's threatening us. He turned to the other man, a broad-shouldered brute with nervous eyes. Did you hear that? He's threatening officers? You're not officers, Malik said, his voice steady, though his heart pounded. And you're trespassing. Patchy Beard leaned in close enough that Malik could smell the stale traces of cheap energy drinks. You know what? Why don't you call someone? See who they believe. For a moment, Malik faltered. He'd dealt with people like them before, men who counted on fear, on hesitation, on the silent weight of stereotypes that hung in the air before they ever threw a punch. Malik's pulse throbbed at his temples. His moral compass teetered between fury and restraint. But today was different. He straightened. I already did. The fake officers froze. Confusion flickered across Patchy Beard's face. You called the HOA, no? Malik said. I called the real police. His voice carried across the street like a spark dropped in dry grass, making neighbors gasp and pull back from their windows. Even the wind paused, suspended in anticipation. The two imposters exchanged a glance, a silent, panicked conversation neither wanted to admit was happening. But before they could speak, the distant hum of engines grew louder. More than one, more than two, the kind of sound that didn't belong to patrol cars. Malik stepped back toward his porch, pulse steadying as the noise swelled. The fake officer spun. What? What did you do? The broad-shouldered one muttered. I told the dispatcher the truth, Malik said quietly. Armed individuals impersonating law enforcement, threatening me, damaging property, possibly organized. Patchy Beard cursed, eyes darting for an escape route. But it was too late. A convoy rolled around the corner, armored vehicles, sirens silent, lights off, SWAT, moving in formation. Their steps synchronized, purposeful, like a single organism. The neighborhood transformed instantly, from quiet suburbia into a scene thick with tactical precision. Doors opened. Shields raised. Boots struck the pavement in unison. Gasps spread through the crowd of neighbors, now gathering at a safe distance. Murmurs rippled. Phones lifted to record as adrenaline charged the air. Hands in the air. The SWAT commander barked, his voice sharp enough to slice the tension. The fake officers panicked, hands trembling so violently they nearly dropped their makeshift weapons. In seconds, they were surrounded, black uniforms forming a tight ring around them, weapons drawn, movements controlled and exact, the kind Malik recognized from the drills of real professionals. Patchy Beard tried to speak. We were just impersonating federal authority, the commander cut in coldly, and vandalizing private property. On camera, he gestured, and two SWAT members moved forward with seamless precision, restraining the imposters with swift, practiced motions. The imposters whimpered more than resisted, the bravado they wore minutes ago melting under the weight of real authority. As they were escorted toward the armored vehicle, the broad-shouldered one glanced back at Malik. Eyes wide with regret or perhaps shock that the man he underestimated had just outplayed them with calm, strategic clarity. For a brief moment, Malik felt that prick of moral conflict. Should he feel pity? Satisfaction? Anger? He'd wanted justice? But seeing them trembling made him wonder where the line between consequence and cruelty truly lay. A SWAT officer approached him. "Sir, are you all right?" Malik nodded slowly. "I will be." "We reviewed the footage," the commander added. "Your call saved a lot of people from potential harm. Thank you for staying level-headed." Malik exhaled for what felt like the first time all morning. The neighbors stepped forward, now not hiding, not whispering, offering timid smiles and murmured apologies. Some clapped softly, a hesitant but meaningful acknowledgement. A little boy from down the street tugged on his mother's sleeve. "Mom, he's brave," he whispered loudly enough for Malik to hear. Malik felt a warmth spread through him, quiet but powerful. He looked at his battered Ferrari, scratched, dented, wounded, but still standing, much like him. And in that moment, he understood something. Respect earned through fear was fragile, but respect earned through truth, that lasted. Because courage doesn't vanish, it rises the moment someone tries to break it. As the last SWAT vehicle rolled away, sunlight caught the surface of the damaged Ferrari, glinting in uneven patches like scars telling a story. A story that began with destruction, but ended with dignity. Thank you for listening. If this story moved you, share your thoughts below. Subscribe for more powerful tales. Join our growing community that stands for justice, resilience, and compassion. Your next story is coming, don't miss it.